What if the Soviet Union had conquered all of Europe after World War II? Imagine a Europe where the Soviet flag flies from Paris to Rome, where the Iron Curtain isn't just a metaphor, but a physical boundary wrapping the entire continent. What if after World War II the Soviet Union didn't stop at Eastern Europe, but took it all? Today we dive into this chilling alternate history, a world where the USSR dominated Europe and perhaps the world. The turning point. In our timeline, the Allied forces landed in Normandy in 1944 and pushed Nazi Germany from the west, while the Soviets advanced from the east. But what if D-Day had failed? Imagine rough weather, stronger German defences, or poor coordination leading to a failed Allied invasion. With no Western front, the Soviets continue their eastward push, liberating and then occupying all of Germany, Austria, Italy, France, the Low Countries, and even parts of Scandinavia. By 1946, the Red Army stretches from the Russian Far East to the Atlantic Ocean. Europe falls under the hammer and sickle. In this new reality, Western Europe becomes the Western Soviet bloc. Countries like France, Italy, and West Germany never regain independence. Communist puppet governments are installed. Secret police control daily life. Censorship is total. London becomes isolated, a capitalist island in a sea of red. The UK, though not invaded, is pressured heavily by Soviet influence. Ireland, meanwhile, may lean neutral or even tilt left under Soviet diplomatic pressure. No NATO, no Marshall Plan. With Europe fully under Soviet control, the US never launches the Marshall Plan. There's no NATO, no economic rebuilding of the West. The United States, shocked and unprepared, turns inward. Some isolationists even push for peace with Moscow. Meanwhile, Stalin's USSR grows richer and stronger by extracting resources, industries, and manpower from conquered Europe. A mega-empire is born. From the Arctic to the Mediterranean, life in communist Europe, daily life under the new regime is bleak. Art, music, books, all must serve the state. People live in fear of being reported for anti-revolutionary behaviour. French cuisine, replaced by ration lines. Italian fashion, crushed by grey uniforms. Churches are closed or monitored, yet underground resistance grows. Intellectuals, students, and former soldiers form secret movements, but the KGB is everywhere, the global domino effect. With Europe red, many other regions fall like dominoes. China still becomes communist. India leans left. Africa's decolonization now follows Soviet models. Cuba turns red earlier. South America sees pro-Soviet revolutions in Argentina, Chile, and beyond. The US is now isolated in a mostly communist world. The new Cold War, instead of a divided Europe, the Cold War now becomes a global standoff. America and its few remaining allies, Canada, Australia, Japan, against the giant Eurasian communist bloc. Space becomes a key battleground. The USSR, with European scientists and funding, lands on the moon before the US, perhaps even builds a base. Tensions rise. Proxy wars break out in Africa, South America, and even the Arctic. Would the USSR collapse? One might ask, could the USSR maintain control over such a vast empire? Over time, economic stagnation, resistance movements, and internal ethnic tensions grow. France rebels, German workers strike, Italians defy Moscow. Holding such a massive, unwilling population becomes impossible. In the 1980s or 90s, we might witness massive revolutions across Europe. A European spring. The collapse might be even bloodier than in our timeline. How the world would look. The day had the USSR taken all of Europe, today's world would be radically different. No European Union, no NATO, no American military bases in Europe, no capitalist France, Germany, or Italy. English might not be the global language. Russian could be. Technology and culture would be centralized under a state-planned model. Global internet might not exist. Social media and freedom of speech could be concepts people only dream of. This alternate world is a warning. History often turns on a few crucial moments. The success of D-Day, the strength of post-war diplomacy, the courage of nations to rebuild and resist. What if those moments had gone differently? The world we live in could have been far darker. Thank you for watching The Real History. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternate past, like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments what would have happened if the Soviets had taken all of Europe.